3:29 says, "Do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men." It's telling us that if we're skillful in what we do, there will be advancement. We will have more influence. We'll have more impact. We as believers should certainly strive to be good at what we do. We should strive to excel at what we do. I saw earlier this week a post on Facebook that said, "Excellence is not everything." Now, it was from someone I know that was coming from a situation where I think they felt a bit of pressure to be perfect. And there is a big difference between perfectionism and excellence. Excellence is simply to excel above the expectations of your customer or the people that come to your church or the people you're serving, you're offering your goods and services to. You know, Chick-fil-A is a great example. They excel above your typical fast food restaurant. They're polite, they're prompt, their food is good. And I've eaten at Chick-fil-A's all over the United States of America, and they're consistent. I've had maybe one or two negative experiences, but they always make it right. And so they have excelled. Are they perfect? No, I've had one or two negative experiences. They're not always perfect. And there's a big, look, we should strive to do our work as unto the Lord, not unto men. It's the Lord that we're serving. Colossians 3:23 says that. So we should strive to be very good at what we do, but watch out for perfectionism. Perfectionism will make you want to quit what you're doing. John Acuff wrote a book called Finish. Give yourself the gift of done. I highly recommend it. He says this is the first lie that perfectionism tells you about goals. Quit if it isn't perfect. Let me tell you, when I do this podcast, it's never going to be perfect. I can do multiple takes of the same Monday morning tune-up, but did I say this? Did I get that? It's never going to be perfect. Sooner or later, I heard it said you might have to chew on mediocrity for a while, but don't get used to the taste. We don't want to be mediocre, okay? We want to be good at what we do, knowing that we'll never be perfect. In the last episode of Monday Morning Tune-Up, I said you need three types of people in your life to become, who God wants you to be. You need mentors, people you follow. You need peers or people you walk beside. You need people that follow you, disciples. And I said that someone doesn't necessarily have to be older than you in order for them to be your mentor. They simply need to know a little more about you than you do in a field that you're trying to learn about, in a direction you're trying to go. They can lead you and help you, avoid some obstacles and maybe take a shortcut here or there. So I say that because I was a pastor and I stressed excellence in all that we did. Sometimes I press too hard. There's no doubt about it. It's tough. Leadership is tough because you want to be friends with people, but at the same time, you're trying to lead an organization. You're trying to lead a business. So you can't be everybody's buddy. You've got to lead the business, which means sometimes you've got to press a little bit. So I probably pressed excellence a little too hard. And one of my young leaders came to me and he said, I know what you mean by excellence, but I think we ought to think of it this way. And he said this to benefit me, to say, when we talk about excellence, maybe we should think like this, that excellence is a road we want to travel on. And on one side is a ditch called perfection, and on the other side is a ditch called sloth. We as believers certainly don't want to be lazy. The Proverbs talks about a man that puts his hand in a dish, gets some food, but he's too lazy to bring it to his mouth. Can you imagine starving to death because you're not willing to do all of the work, only half of the work? So we want to be those people, but neither do we need to fall into the ditch of perfectionism where we wear ourselves out or we put too much pressure on those that work with us, work for us, or volunteer for us. So we want to be very, very careful. Excellence simply means to me to be very good. That's the definition. And it means to do it better next time. Knowing no NFL quarterback is going to be perfect, but their goal is to do it better next time. The Washington Commanders just got knocked out of their Super Bowl opportunity. They lost 55 to something. They got whooped. And I know their goal is, hey, let's have a better season next year. Let's work towards excelling and doing it a little bit better next year. Hope you got something out of that. Have an awesome, awesome week.